Hey you guys, I am back with another YouTube video, and today, just make sure my glasses are in here, but today I'm gonna be talking about something that's just has been on my mind and like what I've been seeing lately just around social media. I'm trying to look for some glasses because my current ones broke again, which I suspected that, but yeah, no. My current glasses, like, they just broke again. I'm gonna just put these on, but these don't even, like, nah, bro, these don't even work. But anyways, I'm gonna be talking about what's been going on around social media. Basically, everyone wants the Dear Future Wifey podcast to be canceled, and basically people are going on TikTok saying, like, let's just cancel his podcast. I'm gonna be talking to you guys just about like my thoughts on that and just why I think, like, I don't know, like, I just have mixed feelings about his podcast. I follow this YouTuber called Real Talk with Yanni. I forget, Yanni. I think she was talking about it on her YouTube channel, and I was like, this is interesting. Let me talk about it on my YouTube channel to see, like, why everyone wants it to be canceled. Honestly, I didn't really understand why everyone fully wanted to be canceled, but I honestly feel as though, like, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this whole podcast. I would say, like, I got introduced to the Dear Future Wifey podcast was when it was like a cast member from Love is Blind. I would say Love is Blind season 6 went to go speak out and, talk about their relationship. I forget who the person was. But that person was on that podcast, and yeah, the person was on the podcast. And honestly, I have lots of thoughts about this. Like, I have a lot of thoughts about this. I mean, I've been watching the podcast since 2024. And when people come on the podcast, everyone says that, like, the host of the I forget the guy's name, but the person that hosts the podcast just doesn't ask the right questions, and it's almost as if he just uses Christianity in a way to, like, as like a way of, like, weaponizing and, like, excusing people's bad behavior. When I watch the Dear Future Wifey podcast, I feel as though this podcast, like, tries to, like, present a false narrative when it comes to relationships, or even people trying to, like, be in a relationship where they're not really genuine in the relationship. Like, I feel as though when it comes to this podcast, like, the host sometimes kind of, like, tries to say things in, like, a false narrative, and he uses Christianity a lot and, like, the Holy Spirit a lot to kind of sugarcoat people's bad behavior when they go on podcasts. And I feel as though a lot of people have been hating on this guy's podcast. But my thing is just that, like, how does he have 500,000 subscribers? And, like, the people, like, it's like a lot of people who get canceled, like, somehow still, and maybe I could be wrong, but I'm wondering, like, okay, is this guy losing followers? Is this guy losing followers? Is he losing subscribers on YouTube then? Because I'm just like, how is everyone wanting the podcast to be canceled? But, like, he has a big following. Like, this guy has a big following. And so for me, when everyone says, like, oh, this podcast needs to be canceled, I say no. And I'm not trying to say, like, like, what this person is doing to, like, the host, whatever the guy's name is, what the host of this podcast is saying is really, like, right. Like, I'm not trying to say, like, he's a good podcaster and, like, he's a good host when it comes to, like, interviewing people. What I'm trying to say is just that we shouldn't necessarily, like, have his podcast become canceled, because if he has a following, I mean, he has an audience that supports him. So it's like, if he has an audience that supports him still, why is everyone pleading for his podcast to be canceled? Like, for me, I honestly just don't get it. Like, why is everyone pleading for his podcast to be canceled when he has a big following? Now, when I watch this person's podcast, I feel as like this person, like, they don't really know what they're talking about sometimes. Like, I mean, when when Dear Future Wifey podcast had Tyler on the podcast. Remember Tyler from Love is Blind with the 3 children, Lila, like whatever his name is, but basically Tyler from Love is Blind had 3 children who the 3 kids that he abandoned or whatever like that. Yeah, you know, he went on the podcast. And for me, like when he was interviewing Tyler on his podcast, I feel as though like he was almost like he was just letting, like he knew Tyler like I feel as though this podcast host loves to play devil's advocate, but then when he's interviewing people, he knows when the person is wrong, but he doesn't hold them accountable. Like he just does not hold them accountable like I would see other podcast hosts do. And like I feel as though this podcast host loves to interview villains on TV shows. I mean, just like toxic relationships. So I'm just like, was this podcast host like just addicted to, and I'm not blaming him for it, but like, was he just like kind of like into like just toxic stuff when it comes to like TV, dating shows, like just like, I don't know, like for me, when it came to this guy's podcast, like when Tyler was on his podcast, he even admitted on Jesse Woo's channel that like, you know, he knew Tyler and his 3, like he knew Tyler like was lying, whatever like that. So it's like, it's almost as if like this guy as a host doesn't really know what he's doing, but at the same time he still seems to be able to like do well. Like he still seems to have an audience that agrees with him. And so it's like, if he has an audience that agrees with him, then I don't think his podcast should be canceled. I just think that maybe he should just be more aware of what he's saying when it comes to like taking people's sides. Like, I don't know, but like when it comes to his podcast, I don't think it should be canceled. I just think that it's not everyone's favorite podcast, and this podcast host like has a lot of people that just don't like his channel. For me, I honestly don't think it should just be straight up canceled, because I mean, I don't even watch this guy's podcast at all. Like I don't watch this guy's podcast at all. I don't watch his podcast at all. But at the same time, when I see him interviewing people, like when I watch the like I only watched like, I would say 2 of his episodes. Those 2 episodes alone just didn't make sense to me at all. I mean, no, the first episode did. Like, the first episode did make sense to me. Like, the first episode, I agreed with. Like, those 2 episodes alone that I watched just didn't make sense to me at all. Like, it just didn't make sense to me at all. So then it was just like, okay, when it came to, like, interviewing, like, it seemed as, like, this person he just loves to interview, like he's always gonna take the man's side in relationships, which is fine, but I feel as though like when I watched his podcast, I was just like, okay, so how was he agreeing? Like what? Like I don't be understanding his logic. Like he just like when I'm watching him as a host, he just be talking in circles. Like what he says just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't add up. Like what he says, and like how he defends people on podcasts, like just doesn't make sense. And I think he uses Christianity to like make people as a replacer for people taking accountability. I think like he uses Christianity to sugarcoat people's bad behavior. Like I don't know if that's true, but like he be using Christianity to sugarcoat people's behavior. I mean, I feel as though when he's when he's interviewing people, I'm just like, how do you agree with this person? Like, how do you agree? Like, how do you agree? But then like, I remember I watched like one of the episodes when I watched his episode when he interviewed Tyler from Love is Blind. I didn't get anything out the podcast at all. Like I didn't get anything from the episode at all. Like I didn't get anything from the episode. It just didn't make any it didn't make any sense to me when I was watching it. I was just like, how was this all true? Like I don't know. Like sometimes I feel as though this podcast, like his podcast, is kind of just like a cult. like, maybe is it giving like a cult? Like, I don't know, but that's just my opinion. Like, is his podcast giving a cult? Maybe like a cult, like an actual cult, but it's like just some of the stuff, like it's just a lot of like sugarcoating, and like he doesn't ask like real questions. He doesn't ask real questions at all. Like I don't see him asking like the real questions. I just come out of his podcast being super confused. Like I will be super confused. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's it for this video. That's all I had to say. These are just my opinions. It's not to bash this person's work at all. I mean, I feel as though if this guy, he has like a bunch of followers from like multiple platforms on his podcast, I feel as though, okay, like he's doing something. It's like, okay, at least he has a following. Like, okay, if he like was doing a podcast and like, let's say he was starting out at like 1,000 followers, okay, then yeah, maybe cancel the podcast. But like, if he has a following, just let the audience who wants to see his content let them see it. But then if you don't like, I feel as though what people should do is that if they don't like his podcast, just don't watch it then. Because then it's like, why do we keep watching? It's like we're supporting someone just to hate them too. Like we're supporting someone just to hate them. So then for me, I'm just like, okay, when it comes to this guy's podcast, if we don't like what he's saying, or like if we think like it's like he's sugarcoating, then like let's just not watch it. But I feel as though this guy still has an audience. This guy still has an audience of people that he like interviews. I think this guy still has an audience that likes him for what he does as terms of his podcast. And it's just like, so be it. I don't think it should be canceled, because it's like if you have a bunch of followers on your platform for your podcast, and like you have people saying like he needs to be canceled. I don't like if he has a following, why should he be canceled? I don't know. If he has a following, then like why should his podcast be canceled? Then maybe because I haven't watched all his episodes, then maybe all his episodes, some of his episodes might be true, like might be like legit of like what he like. It might be, I'm like, how do I word this? But like, if he has a following, then like some of his content might be real content, like might be content that people actually want to listen to. But when I watched episodes from his podcast, it didn't make sense to me at all. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me at all. Like, I would say maybe like one episode made sense to me, but then when I watched his last, the last time I was on his podcast, I was super confused. I was just very confused. I was like, it was just no account, like, and like, I feel as though like he just lets people lie on his podcast. He lets people, like, he doesn't allow people. Yeah, no, sorry, my storage went out. But like, to end off, I'm just like, I feel as though he like lets people just lie on his podcast, and I feel as though like sometimes he just allows bad behavior, and he allows people to make excuses on his podcast. Like, it's just something is off. But at the same time, I think the person who's like whatever this guy, sorry, oh my god, but yeah, I think this guy, like, he still has an audience. This guy still has an audience. So it's just like, at the end of the day, like, if his podcast shouldn't be canceled, I am afraid though that like he might lose lots of followers. Like, that is my biggest fear, is that he may lose lots of followers. Like, he may lose like a following. And so I'm just like, okay, will he get like will this person get like a following? Like, I don't know, like, will he keep his following up? Like, will this guy ever keep his following up? So it's like, for me, I'm still afraid as though like, okay, will this guy still be able to have a following? Sorry, y'all. Okay, I'm about to finish this video, and yes, I do have glasses on because I cannot see the time clearly. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I think when it comes to this podcast, like, this guy, I don't know. I'm very iffy about the podcast. I'm very iffy. Like, I'm very iffy. I'm just like, what are you like? What's next? And I don't know why though people want his podcast to be fully good, because I'm like fully gone, because I'm just like, did he like have any episode that like people liked? Like, did anybody watch his video and like actually like one of his episodes? I feel as though every episode that he comes out with, like certain episodes that he comes out with, sometimes it turns into a whole debate. It turns into a whole topic discussion. Even when I see like people from reality shows come on his podcast, I'm just like, it just doesn't, like, stuff is just not adding up. And so I feel as though when it comes to him being a podcast host, I don't know if he's being his full authentic self when it comes to interviewing people. And so he tends to give people the benefit of the doubt and let them run off the hook easy. And so then maybe that is why they're able, maybe that is why like people like coming on his podcast. But it's like a lot of people, I would say, in the past year had like just a major problem with his podcast, like just a major issue with his podcast, just the way how he interviewed people. When I saw Tyler or Liler on his podcast, I was like, I didn't get anything out of the episode. I was like, okay, now I could see why people don't like his podcast episode like at all. Like now I could see why people don't like his podcast episode at all. So honestly, I want to see, like, comment down below, what are y'all thoughts on his podcast? Like, do you guys think his podcast should be fully taken away? Do you think he should take a break from doing from his podcast? Honestly, like, I feel as though when it comes to people doing their podcast, it's their own podcast, it's their own channel, it's their own, like, everyone is growing. And it's just like, how would y'all feel if someone came like that to your talked trash like that to your podcast, claiming for your podcast to be canceled when you have a big following? So I'm just like, his podcast shouldn't be canceled, because there is so many people who are worse than what he does. Like he has a lot of followers, and some people can't even like reach that amount. So it's like, for y'all to say, oh, cancel his podcast, I don't think it's really right, because he does have an audience that likes him, and to me it seems like a big audience. And maybe the people who do subscribe to him don't really like his podcast at all. I don't know. I'm very iffy about it. But when it comes to him as like a podcast host, like, I wouldn't say he's the best podcast host, but at least he's doing something. He's making some sort of bag, because I mean, he obtained a lot of followers, and the people who are saying that his podcast should be canceled, I feel as though like they're in the wrong, because they're not even in his level. Like, they don't have the amount of followers that he has on other platforms. Now, however, I don't think he's a good podcast host. I think he accepts bad behavior on his podcast. I think he allows bad behavior on his podcast. And I think he has a bad reputation on his podcast, because he he interviews a lot of people in relationships who were in the wrong. And sometimes he tends to play devil advocate, when him playing devil advocate doesn't really make sense to the audience. Like, when Tyler was on his podcast, I feel as though he was allowing Tyler to act a fool on his podcast. He was allowing Tyler from Love is Blind. He was allowing Tyler from Love is Blind to lie on his podcast. And so he was like sugarcoating everything. And so, I don't know what is going on today, but my storage just keeps on running out. I don't know what it is, but this storage better start running out. But anyways, to end it off, yeah, I feel as though this guy, he's not the best podcast host, but he shouldn't be canceled. Like, he shouldn't be canceled. I don't know, but I just feel as though like his podcast just shouldn't be canceled. I don't really understand why a lot of people are like critiquing him, but honestly though, I get what people are saying. Like it's like there's a lot of obvious stuff that he does that is just not right when it comes to him being a podcast host. Yeah, and when I would watch his podcast, I would be like, it's just some obvious stuff that I see and I'm just not buying it. Like, it's just some obvious stuff that I be watching on his, like, he be saying some stuff and like he be trying to like agree with people. And it just doesn't make sense. Like, when I saw his podcast with Tyler again, it didn't make, like, Tyler from Love is Blind with the 3 children, it didn't make any sense to me at all. Like, it just didn't make any sense. And so I feel as though he doesn't really strive to be more aware when it comes to him having these people on, as like when he has these hosts on his podcast or whatever like that, he doesn't really take the time to actually like think about what he's saying. Maybe, I don't know, I feel as though a lot of people have trouble like gathering their thoughts. And so I feel like as though some people just be saying stuff just to be saying it on their podcast. And so I feel as though him, like, he knows like what he's doing is not 100% when it comes to him. Anyways, yeah, my storage just keeps on running out. I don't know what it is, but I have to keep on pausing my video. But anyways, I'm going to end it off of here. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and I will see you guys on my next video. But yeah, no, honestly, I don't think it should be canceled. I just think that this podcast host, the Dear Future Wifey podcast, this guy needs to be more aware when it comes to him bringing out episodes, him having guests, and just being aware of what he says and how that might affect the audience. But anyways, yes, I'm done with this video.